What is up, everybody? Welcome back to RC's Gateway to Comics, and today we are going to be reviewing another bit of the Genuine Comics series Perfect 10. Now, this is issue 3 of a continuing series that has been put out through crowdfunding, and so far, these books have been some of my favorite books of all indie comics. So, let's hopefully this will hopefully this will live up to that as well. And I can safely say that I really do like this book. So this book picks up pretty much exactly where issue 2 left off, with 10 in the clutches of the Prime Syndicate, these villains that you see around her on the cover. And it has a way of introducing all these different villain characters throughout the story, and also giving you a deeper understanding of why they hate 10. It is pretty much her going through the Prime Syndicate hideout and trying to survive against these various villains, because she's stuck on her own, no access to really any weapons other than herself, and all of these villains have a bone to pick with her because they've been hunted by synthoids like her. And seeing all these sort of walls closing in on 10 and her trying to prove that she is not a killer, it adds a bit of intrigue to the story, because you see what is truly behind 10 and what her programming as an assassin is. So it's a bit of a shorter comic, like what Genuine Comics stories usually are. It's not 48 pages like a lot of other crowdfunded books are, but it tells you enough story to have you be intrigued and make you want to see more of these characters. It also continues the, albeit brief and background story of one of my favorite characters in this universe. And if you can guess who that is, then props to you. But yeah, you get a detailed look into the humanity behind these characters, even if they are villains, and it lets you see them as how they would interact with other people in this world. The big wolf guy from the last book, who was depowered, Crimson, he is sort of like humanized in a way, because it shows how these other characters are sort of very dismissive of him, because he is because he doesn't have his powers anymore. And they put an emphasis on that in this story for a very specific reason later on. And it does pay off immensely, because it shows you the dangers that arise with the fight between the Syndicate and Division M, and also with 10 herself. So there is a lot of stuff that 10 may not know about herself that is just locked away in the back of her brain, and all of that sort of bubbles up to the surface in a way that you may not expect at the end. and it's definitely a worthwhile payoff. So I'm not going to get into that. But we are going to get into the art of the story, and as you have already seen with the previous books put out by Genuine Comics for the Perfect 10 franchise, it is absolutely fantastic. Pal Rodricks is the quintessential artist for any of these Perfect 10 books, because he makes the characters very distinguishable from each other. They all have unique designs. The female characters, they have the perfect type of exaggerated bodies that makes them very appealing, while also having a bit of softness to them, and also being able to kick your ass at the same time. That's not something that you see a lot of, and I really like that. And again, as I've already said, and I believe I said this in the previous reviews, but having a character that shows up for maybe 3 pages, 2 pages, 2 pages at best, in Replica. I'm going to keep gushing over this character until she gets a story. Having a character like that who just shows up for that amount of time, and have someone like me really like that character, that is a testament to great character design and also writing. Because you haven't had much interaction with Replica, but there's something appealing about her. She has like this genuineness to her that I want to see more of. But ignoring my own fascinations for a moment, all of the villains do their motivations are understandable, while also having understandable motivations for Division M. They are looking out for the good of the people, and the Prime Syndicate is looking out for the good of superpowered beings. So these are two clashing sides which you can totally relate to. And if they weren't out killing people, then you could totally see Prime Syndicate being good. But it's just a matter of the decisions that these two sides make and what they decide to do. So there's no perfect good, or there's no black and white in this. There's always a shade of gray in these. And that's not something that you see a lot of in superhero comics. Like, even with the Prime Syndicate, there's peaceful parts to it in their hideout. And they don't really get involved in certain parts of this fight against Division M, and they just want to live in peace. And it's not something that you see a lot of, but it's there as a way to build this universe. And I think that's very good, because you can see all these different things happening in this story. And if I had to guess, I'd probably say this maybe takes, the entire story in this maybe takes like a couple hours to build. Like, in universe, it maybe takes about a couple hours to build. But it seems like there's a lot crammed into that couple hours, because you're getting introduced to various different characters, and you're getting introduced to the motivations behind them and the secrets that some of them keep. So I am very much looking forward to the continuation of this. I know that Dave Brink, the creator of Genuine Comics, has said that there were edits to the story that made more sense, and there may be some continuing stories. I don't know if he's going to be adding books to this. I think it was originally going to be a 4-parter, but maybe a 5-parter. Don't hold me to that. I would very much like for it to be, because if there's further development of these characters, I would totally welcome that. And again, let's get a replica book out there. That I want to see that. I like that character. But yeah, my final rating for this is going to be pretty much the same as the previous Perfect 10 books. And it's going to be a cake level book that perfectly builds upon the story. I love the characters. I want to see more of them. And I cannot wait to see this story come to a crescendo and further build the Genuine Comics universe. Depending on when this video comes out, there may be a second chance campaign for Perfect 10 still funding on fundmycomic.com. If it is still funding, go and check that out. If it's not funding, then go and check out any of the other campaigns that Genuine Comics has up. Because if you do not have any of these stories, look at that, I'm pointing to my little standee of 10. If you do not have any of these stories, then you are missing out. I'm giving it to you straight. You are missing out if you do not have these stories, because it is a superhero universe that it has everything that you could want in it, and it's only just now being built up. So definitely check it out right now or as soon as you can, because it's definitely worthwhile. If you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like down below. Comment what your thoughts are on this review and also on other Genuine Comics comics. I want to hear what your thoughts are on those, on Perfect 10, any of the other IPs that Dave Brink has put out. And yeah, share your love for this project anywhere that you can. If you would also please subscribe to the channel so that we can continue to bring more eyes to these comics. Because, as I've said, if you do not have these comics, then you are missing out. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you guys in the next video. Peace out.